Hey guys, I'm just going to kind of switch it up again today. We've got a camping trip with the youth boys there at the church, and I'm at the campsite already to get set up. It's a first come first served basis, so I wanted to get here early and make sure we got a spot. But I don't know if you can really see where I am, but I'm laying in my hammock right on the side of this beautiful creek, river, whatever it's called. And I really think it's important for us to get out in the outdoors and just kind of take notice of it. And here's why. Because you may say, you don't like the outdoors. There's too many bugs, too many pests. It's inconvenient. It's hot. And you notice all these reasons why you shouldn't get out in the outdoors. And I think what we need to realize is in the midst of that inconvenience, in the midst of that uncomfortableness, in the midst of that little bit of hardship that you face from being outdoors, God has given us unmeasurable beauty. As you, I don't know if you can hear this creek running by, but it's very peaceful. I just watched a hawk fly over the treetops, just gliding there, just again peaceful. Bees flying in and out of the trees, and just nature at its best. And we can learn a life lesson from that in the midst of our uncomfortableness, in the midst of our little problems, in the midst of our little trials and tribulations that we face in life, God wants to do something beautiful. God wants to use that to teach us a lesson, to show us who He is, and to show us His power, to show us His grace, to show us His mercy. So instead of focusing on the bad things, you could come out here and find a million reasons why not to be out here. It took me an hour to get here, to drive here, so there's gas, there's time to get ready to load everything. I was outside loading firewood and camping stuff and just pouring sweat, and then finally got up here and unloaded it and pouring sweat again. And so there's countless reasons you could find why not to be out here. But once you get out here, if you will just focus on the good things, focus on the beauty, focus on the things that God has given us, it really changes your perspective of being outside. And I think we can do that in life. Instead of focusing on the problems, focus on what God wants to give us, focus on what God wants to teach us, focus on what God, the blessings that He has in store for us in the midst of our trials, in the midst of our uncomfortableness. And so I encourage you, just get outside, even if it's on a park bench. You don't have to come camping, but even if it's just to get outside and sit in your front yard and just look around you and just take notice of the beauty that God has given us here on this earth. So that's my lesson. I know it's not from the Ephesians study. That will probably come later sometime this weekend, as I'm out here tonight by myself, and so I'm going to get some reading done and just get some praying done and get some focusing done. And so I just encourage you, go outside, take notice of the beauty that God's given us today. Thanks again for watching and listening, and I hope I encouraged you a little bit today.